Drew, you're right. It's been a heck of a year for me in terms of Hollywood interviews. Whoa, my camera's like, where am I? What the heck? There we are for our viewers on YouTube and Facebook. And I don't know, man. This camera is off, buddy. Oh, there it is. There it is. As you can see, I'm not. We're talking about a low budget Hollywood production here. What was I going to say? Oh, yeah, you're right. I mean, the actors. Pretty good run there. I got to meet Bill Murray. Didn't interview him, but that was pretty neat. A few weeks ago at the NASCAR race, and then at the Musial Awards last year, Billy Crystal on Sports on a Sunday Morning. You're right, Drew. I remember turning to my daughter Audrey and saying, "I think that's the biggest celebrity I've ever interviewed." When we got on the elevator, she's like, "Really?" I said, "Yeah, let's go look back at some of his movies." And then I interviewed at Powell Hall at the red carpet world premiere of Soul on Fire. Really nice job by John O'Leary and everybody to contribute and actually turn that amazing story and then book into a movie. William H. Macy. Yeah, that's a pretty big one right there. John Corbett. It was Joel Courtney, the young actor who plays John O'Leary, that my daughter called me and she goes, "Dad, did you do the red carpet world premiere of Soul on Fire?" She's in college at Miami of Ohio. And I said, "Yeah." And she goes, "Did you interview Joel Courtney?" I said, "I sure did." She goes, "Oh my gosh." And you could hear all the girls in the background giggling. They all like Joel. Okay. 29-year-old actor. They love John Corbett. He plays the dad in a lot of the movies that they saw. So that was neat. It was a nice experience. We'll hear William H. Macy and John O'Leary coming up next hour. Cardinal baseball. I want to get into that first. And something that I wanted to say about the Cardinals and also MLB postseason as it relates to obviously what the Cardinals want to do and where they want to go. We'll get into some college football coming up here in just a moment. Hockey as well. Congrats to City on picking up a win. I know that City is out of it, but they look better. They won on the road against Austin 3-1. I want to make sure I mention that so the soccer fans don't get upset with me. I know I don't have Lutz on anymore. We're going to replace. They don't have a replacement right now. There is no sporting director. You know, you've got John Hackworth and Diego Giuliani and others are sharing those duties. So just patience there. I would say that Lutz was very, very dedicated to the show. I mean, Lutz really liked being on the show. He liked sharing with us. He liked this being the platform where he could give information to the fans. And he made that pretty much exclusive to us. So we appreciate that. And by the way, so did John Mozeliak, who did not get a lot of credit for that. But Mozeliak did that as well. He never got compensated for being on the show. You know, he just did it because he felt like it was the right thing to do. It was the broadcast partnership with us and thought that this is part of his duty was to come on Sundays and be with us. And yes, Chaim Bloom is going to do the same thing. Chaim is with family this weekend after a big, big week. And we're going to have him on this Sunday show for the foreseeable future, I would imagine. I think the Gas House Gang could be in play for him. But we will hear a really good interview that John Rooney did with Chaim Bloom coming up on KMOX, and that'll be in that normal slot. We're going to keep it at 11:30, 26-minute interview, so we won't play the whole thing. We'll pick, Drew and I will pick a portion of that to play. I kind of feel like people want to hear what he had to say about Ollie. That seems to be the hot button issue that came out of that. You know, and I was a little surprised at the reaction that came out of that when he officially said that Ollie is coming back, that there was a lot of pushback from Cardinals fans. But I understand because I talk to Cardinals fans about it quite often as to why they want that change. And I don't know that it's all personal against Ollie. I think that people, Cardinals fans, go ahead and comment on here if you want. You can call in if you want. Drew, open up the phone lines if you want, if that's all right. 314-436-7900, 800-925-1120. The Odyssey app is alive and well around the country, and I know that people are watching. But what I gather here is that people just want some sort of signal that there's going to be a change. That's what they wanted. And so Ollie was going to have to be that guy for a lot of people. That it wasn't necessarily that they didn't like Ollie, but they didn't love the manager. And so they thought that should be what Bloom should step up there and say. What you were missing there for those of you who've been listening to KMOX and certainly who've been following along on the Gas House Gang, is that Ollie wasn't going anywhere. I mean, you could just hear the relationship that he's had with Chaim. He talked about him all the time. And Bloom could have fired him if he wanted to. He could have done it. But if Chaim thinks that he's the right fit, and this is a clear change from Mozeliak, John Mozeliak has absolutely nothing to do with this. And don't you think that Bill DeWitt and ownership would say, okay, if Chaim said, I think we need to go in a different direction. I've been watching this. I'm the outsider that you brought in to audit this. I've been watching this whole thing. I think their best move is to change managers. Don't you think they would say, okay, how much money would they be out? I mean, it's 1 year left on his contract. No, actually the opposite happened. They really felt like Ollie Marmol, according to Bloom, was the right fit moving forward. So I was a little surprised by the amount of people that protested that. I'm not sure what you expected to happen. Did you think that they were going to hire Yachty or Albert or something, or Joe Madden? I'm not really sure, but I'm just telling you, I think that's what happened, is that fans are waiting for this cutoff of the previous regime and a fresh start. That's what they wanted. Let's go to Paul and get his thoughts. And then I've got another Cardinals thought I want to throw out there, something that happened on social media that started out very tame and kind of went nuts, but that tends to happen with this awesome, passionate fan base. Let's go to Paul. Paul, what's up?
Hey, Tom, great show this morning.
Thanks,
I'm a huge Ollie fan. Heard him speak at Fellowship of Christian Athletes quarterly breakfast, and but he is such a great communicator. He's in the corner of his players, and he is the youngest manager in baseball, so he's a work in process. Of course, I completely agree with Bernie with regard to how can you say that he's the problem because he's had a roster that's deficient. You know, no offense to the Cardinal roster, but we've got work to do there, and let's judge him based upon what he does when he has the horses. So I'll hang up and listen to your response.
Yeah, Paul, I agree with that. And I'm not saying that I agree with everything that Ollie does, but I think he's a very smart baseball man. I think he's a passionate Cardinals man. He's been in the organization for a long time. He knows the game. Obviously, he's willing to work with Chaim on a number of different levels. You can just hear it. He's excited. He seems energized by the change, and he's ready to go. I think this is going to be interesting to watch. And he did not have a good team this year. I'm sorry. Like, what are you supposed to do with this rotation? What are you supposed to do? The last time he had a good team, he won the division. Guys, you have to have players. You have to have players to win. I mean, he's not taking the at-bats. Goldschmidt and Arenado slipped at the same time. You know, I'm not absolving him. I'm just saying, like, if you're being realistic about it. Jack, go ahead. You're on KMOX.
Hi. Yes, I'd like to say I've been a lifelong Cardinal fan and followed them very closely in the 50s. And I'll make the comment that I was probably the biggest Cardinal fan that I know outside of Marty Hendon. But
what a great name to bring up. That's awesome.
Yeah, I go back to that time, and the Cardinals were a second division club for most of the 1950s, living on the past of the 1940s. And in reality, they didn't start to turn things around until they got rid of Stan Musial and Red Shane East. And of course, in '64, brought in Lou Brock. And the whole big thing changed. I'm curious about one of the comments that John Mozeliak made, and that is the Cardinals never had an elite player recently. And you look through the Cardinal history, you go back to the 60s, you can think of Brock and Gibson, you can think of the 80s of Ozzie Smith, and of course the recent time of both Yachty and Albert. And I'm just wondering if that's what Mozeliak felt was really missing to make this Cardinal team that we're so used to rooting for. And like I say, we go back to the 1950s. Gussie Busch bought the Cardinals in 1963. He had a winning season in, I think, 1957 and 1960. But it wasn't until they cleared house and brought in the new faces of the club, that things turned around. And you listen to Gussie in 1964, the excitement he had when the Cardinals won the pennant. So Cardinals fans need to be patient. We've been through this before, those of us who are older. And I'll quit right there. Thank you.
All right, thanks. There isn't a lot of patience among Cardinals fans because they're used to winning. I did post on Thursday. I was on Mark Cox's show. I don't know if you guys know this, but on 97.1, I pop in on Monday and Thursday, and I do about 10 minutes with Mark Cox and Dan Buck. And I said, wow, how about that? The Reds, thanks for playing. I mean, they were out very quickly in the postseason. And I said, did you know that, and I had forgotten about this, the Reds have not won a postseason series since 1995. And I said aloud, I wonder how many the Cardinals have won since then. A lot, right? I said, I'm going to go look it up. So I went, I looked it up. I was actually very surprised. 18 postseason series wins, not wins, series wins for the Cardinals since 19-5, 18-0. So I put that out there on Twitter, and the responses were wild. I think some people got it, said, yeah, I guess, when you think you don't have it, when you think you have it bad, look at what the Reds fans deal with. Then I had some people that asked me if Bill DeWitt paid me to say that. Bill DeWitt has bigger fish to fry. He has bigger problems than that. He needs to put people in the seats. And then I had people that wondered why I was comparing the Cardinals to the Reds, which of course I'm not. My point is that sometimes we forget what a run the Cardinals had, but it also goes to show that that's why people are angry. They're used to winning. It's been a while. It's been a decade since the Cardinals were in the NLCS. They were in the NLCS in 19, but since they had success, like a real World Series contender, it's been a decade, and people were upset about that. They just don't like it. And there are some people that are patient, Jack, and there are some people that are not, and they want it now, and they're tired of it. And I embrace all of it because I want Cardinals fans to tell me. I want them to be engaged. I want to know. I grew up one. I grew up a Cardinals fan. I grew up with knowing that I was going to go see a winner. And then I went through the 90s, a downtime, and then back in 2000, really 96, they made it to the playoffs. The McGuire home run race was fun, but 2000, that was when it really took off. And we've had a lot of winning since then, but it has taken a slide back. And so Cardinals fans are saying we are and should be an elite National League team. We're National League royalty. Tired of being in the middle. And that was that. That was the reaction out of that. They want things to happen. Let's go to Tony on KMOX. Hi, Tony.
Good morning. I'm in my mid-60s. I've been a Cardinal fan all my life, as far back as I can remember. My grandfather played for the Cardinals in the 20s. Wow. I think my problem with Ollie, and I think he's a fine person, and I'm glad he's a Christian and all that, but the whole thing goes back to Mike Schultz, or I'm not sure how to pronounce his name. I feel like he was kind of dirtied on and kind of ran out the door, and then they brought Mo in, and I don't blame him for taking the job, but he seems like he was Mo's yes man or something, rightly or wrongly, and I don't like how – I don't think he's publicly ever stood up like I think Whitey Herzog would have, and not many people are Whitey Herzog. I think they run the same players out thinking, well, they're going to do better, and they don't. I think Ollie will make a fantastic manager, but I think he needs to be somewhere else. And as far as the DeWitts and to me, they're the same as the Bidwell brothers. They ruined the football Cardinals. And I'm sorry, everybody loves the DeWitts, but I think they should go too. So that's just my personal opinion.
All right. Well, there you go. Tony's laying it down. I think that is a common thing where people did not like the Schilt firing, didn't like the way it was handled. And so Ollie, unfortunately, gets painted as some bad guy who just stepped in and nodded and took the job when it's completely different than that. But it's their job to send out the communication better. And of course, winning solves everything. But that's one of the many things that he said there. One of the big things that jumps out to me is that people didn't like Schilt getting fired and how it happened and how it was never fully explained. And then suddenly Ollie Marmol's the manager. It did him no favors, even though he won the division the next year. Kevin, you're on KMOX. Great to be with you.
be with you, Tom. I've always enjoyed your shows.
Thanks.
If people are expecting Chaim Bloom to become the second coming of Branch Rickey, they can forget it, because it all comes down to how much money the DeWitts want to spend. If the DeWitts don't want to loosen the purse strings, the Cardinals aren't going to have a competitive team. And that's all it comes down to. I like Ollie, and I'm glad they're bringing him back. It's not his fault they're losing. It's the ownership. And that's my comment.
It always starts at the top. Bill DeWitt Jr. and his son, Bill DeWitt III, are the two faces out in front of the ownership group, but it's certainly Bill DeWitt Jr. who calls the shots. He could say no to anything he wants. And John Mozeliak basically suggested things, but he was working for Bill, and now Chaim will work for Bill. So you are correct there. But I do believe that they did exactly what you all wanted them to do, which was to break away from this. This is how we do it. We're going to keep promoting from within. They went out and they got the outside set of eyes. Okay. Bill DeWitt Jr. is the furthest thing from a villain. Let me say that again. Bill DeWitt Jr. is a good man. He is a baseball man. He comes from a baseball family, a St. Louis baseball family, mind you. And for a long time, won a lot of games here. But like any franchise, things run their course and you have to change. He made the hard decision of firing Walt Jocketty in 2007. He favored Jeff Luna on what he was doing, and he hired John Mozeliak to take over to oversee those two factions that were the old school and new school that were differing. And a lot of success came out of that. You have to admit, they did very well for a long time. And then guess what happened? They thought that the way they were doing it was going to be fine all the way. And they end up getting passed by other teams. Because what Chaim Bloom said, I want you to listen to this clearly. Okay. Some people have missed what Bloom said in his own press conference right away. He said that every single day, 29 teams, 29 people in your position are trying to beat you. No matter what you do in this organization, 29 other people in your position are trying to beat you. So you need to win the 1 to 6 p.m. You need to win the games, yes. But other teams are trying to beat you. This is exactly what Cardinals fans should want to hear. The Cardinals for years have been in this tunnel where they said, yeah, I know, I got it. Like other teams are doing. This is how we do it. We're the Cardinals, the Cardinal way. This is how we do it. We're going to do it a certain way. And I don't care what everybody else says. We do things a certain way around here, and we win. Our track record says so. Chaim is saying the opposite. He's saying, you got to take a look at these other teams. You better be competitive with these other 29. And I'm telling you right now, you've got to go get the Chaim Blooms. You got to go steal from other. They didn't steal him. He got fired. You got to go get the Rob Serfolios and Larry Days. You have to steal the performance guys and the strength guys and the ideas on how to improve your team mentally. You have to go get other people's ideas and do it better. Because guess what? That's what everybody did to the Cardinals. They all did it. They went and they stole the Cardinals' ideas and replicated it, and they were successful. Bingo. And the Cardinals didn't keep pace with it. And that's why they got passed. And it's forward thinking. And now you have the guy who wants to do that. And that's the message that should be out there right now. And it is not going to be overnight. I mean, it's going to take a while. But they put themselves in this hole. But now they have, I think, the guy who's going to get that done. And time will tell if that's the case. But I'm telling you that however you feel, I'm not going to tell you that you're wrong. You've been a fan of this team for a long time. And believe me, I've gone through all the emotions. I've been angry. I've been patient. I've been impatient. I've gone through it all too. But watching this thing and listening to it and following it every single day, I can see the path that they're on by bringing in Chaim. But he's not going to hit all the right notes in the first day. He's not going to tell you everything he's going to do. But if you read, I wish he would have said rebuild, but that's okay. If you read between the lines, which you often have to do in this business, it's going to be a process to get this thing back. There is no more patchwork to get this thing back to where it used to be and should be, where the Cardinals were the envy of the National League and quite honestly baseball, where they had the organization that everybody wanted to be. That's where you have to get back to doing it. And yes, ownership will have to give him the resources that he needs to do that. First task, allocate all the money he needs to fix this minor league system. That process is already underway. Then if the right player comes along, yeah, you go get him. And the roster is going to be a lot different. Changes are going to be made, but yes, ultimately money does talk. You don't need to spend $300 or $400 million on payroll. The Brewers have just shown you that. And they might well win the World Series with a lower payroll. That's the model that you have to follow. You need to be a machine. Players need to come up here and not learn how to hit and not learn how to field. Players need to come up here and win damn games for this team. This is not a farm club. This is the big leagues. And that's where they got backwards. They got to a point where they're calling players up and putting them in the starting lineup and having to teach them how to play big league baseball. That shouldn't be happening. That should be happening in the minor leagues. Then they come up and they get the job done. So we blew past talking about MLB postseason. We blew past talking about college football and doing a scoreboard and doing headlines and doing news. And I don't care because I think this was important to be able to talk about all this. And we will be right back with much more. It is Sports on a Sunday Morning from the Stiefel Sports Studio.
Hey guys, Kevin Wheeler here for FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook, and FanDuel is coming to Missouri. So on December 1st, you'll finally be able to bet on all your favorite teams in all your favorite sports. And with FanDuel, there are just a ton of ways to get in on the action. You can bet on everything from the money line to over-unders to which team's going to win it all at the end of the season. And with live betting, you can make it more immediate. You can even pick which player is going to score the next touchdown, and then the one after that, and the one after that, and so on. And I can't tell you how excited I am because I love FanDuel. I've been with them since they launched their daily fantasy games, and I've been using the FanDuel Sportsbook for years now when I've been in states that allow me to play. Well, coming December 1st, Missouri is one of those states. Now you and I, we can experience FanDuel in the comfort of our own homes. So see for yourself why FanDuel is America's #1 sportsbook. FanDuel. Play your game. 21 and older and present in Missouri. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Hi, I'm Jim Brennan with McKelvey Homes. This is your last chance to live in a brand new home at The Preserve, located at McKenzie and Watson Roads. We have 5 outstanding homes ready for move-in at amazing prices and special financing as low as 4.75%. Choose from ranch or 1.5-story homes backing to woods. Our luxurious Turnberry display is now for sale. Also, get up to $10,000 in free closing costs. Isn't it time to move up to McKelvey?
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6481. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6481. That's 800-575-6481. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Are you having trouble hearing? Hearing loss can devastate the quality of your life. Now, there's an affordable fix for you or your loved one. Rated the best hearing aids of 2025 by Forbes Health, Audion Hearing has the highest quality hearing aids at the lowest prices, starting at just $98 a pair.
I actually like them better than my old $5,000 hearing aids.
I could not believe how my hearing and life changed.
Join over 1 million happy customers by going to audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. Ever wonder why Big Wireless wants you on an unlimited plan? They probably want you to cover the cost of those 20-somethings using all that data every month. But most people 50 and up like me only use 12 gigs or less. Don't get bamboozled by Big Wireless. Switch to Consumer Cellular. Our plans start at just $20, and we use the same towers as the big guys. Join the millions who choose something better, because if you're not using all that data, you're probably getting used.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com/facts or a store near you. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
Hey guys, Glover here from my good friends at Ophthalmology Associates. So my doctor is Dr. Greg Birdie, and he's my doctor and he is my friend. He is a very, very good, very thorough doctor. His longtime partner, Dr. Malhotra, Dr. Royer, Dr. Brusati, they are the doctor's doctors. Why do they call them this? Because about 250 local and regional doctors go to the doctor's doctors for their eye care. Now, are their eyes more important than yours? No, of course not. But it's a real indicator that they are legit when other doctors go to them when they could go anywhere in the world for their eye care. Whether you're there for a comprehensive exam or you're there for a surgical consultation on LASIK or cataracts, you're going to be treated with respect and professionalism every single time. Call 314-966-5000 or log on to youridoc.com. That's 314-966-5000 or youridoc.com for the fine doctors at Ophthalmology Associates and the Cornea and Laser Vision Institute. 314-966-5000 or youridoc.com.
Is your home, business, or church looking tired, chalky, or in need of curb appeal? Go Rhino. Tired of painting year after year? Go Rhino. Our unique 3M ceramic technology is perfect for brick, stucco, aluminum, steel, color lock masonite, and more. It's backed by our 25-year transferable warranty to not chip, crack, or peel. Great if you're staying, and even better if you're selling. Our ceramic coating allows you to maintain all of your architectural features. The decision to do vinyl will leave your home looking like a plastic moldy box. With Rhino Shield, in 15 years, your home will still have that, wow, it looks like you just got it painted. We've done large condo complexes, parking garages, pole barns, and commercial strip malls. We coat sloped and flat roofs to extend their lives too. Evaluations are free. 877-25-RHINO or 877-25rhino.com. See what we did there? Genius. Tell them, ladies.
Don't paint, don't vinyl, go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
Now, back to the Great Bar Sports on a Sunday morning on 104.1 KMOX. From the Stifel Financial Sports Studio, here is Tom Ackerman.
Well, let me set this up for you. So for those who aren't aware, there is a story that started here in St. Louis. John O'Leary, who when he was 9 years old was burned badly, near death after an explosion in his garage at his home in St. Louis, in Town and Country, hospitalized. He was visited by Jack Buck, and his family, his faith, his hospital staff, Mr. Buck, all willed him, and John did himself, back to what was expected to be a tragic passing. He turned himself around, ended up not only leaving the hospital, but walking again, getting married, having kids, having a successful life. It's a tremendous comeback, turnaround, miracle of a story. They had a book, On Fire, that turned into a movie thanks to Terry Schnook, local producer, and many others who backed this with the funds that are necessary to create a movie. Made the movie. It's a feel-good movie I think you'll enjoy. They had a world premiere at Powell Symphony Hall, and I had a chance to visit with one of the lead actors who played Mr. Buck, William H. Macy.
It's amazing. It really is. We are joined by William H. Macy. I'm gonna show you this camera right here. The big one. This is going on live right now inside Powell Hall. Those folks who are waiting in the seats, waiting to see this movie, are watching us. What can you say to them about tonight, what it means to you? What are these nights like for you?
First of all, thank you for being there and supporting the movie. I hope you have a good time. That's why we did it. so that you're entertained. Hopefully people are moved and have a good cry and a good laugh and maybe love our fellow man a little bit more. Sometimes you need a film like this for that. What do these things mean to me, the openings? I'm really proud to be an actor. And every time I see people turn out like this, it's a fabulous job. It's 100 disparate people all pulling in the same direction to make a piece of art. And I'm proud as punch to do this for a living.
I worked with Jack Buck for 4 years. He was my mentor, one of many, but somebody who inspired me. Tell me about Jack Buck from your perspective. What did you learn about him?
We talk about heroes a lot. I find him, I never got to meet him. I find him endlessly fascinating. That he did all these lovely altruistic things quietly, silently. Nobody knew about them. Since this film started shooting, people are coming forward all the time, telling more and more stories about Jack Buck and how he helped, how he showed up. And in this script, he heard about this kid who got burned at a dinner party, and in his tuxedo, he went that night and sat by the bed. The kid was in a coma, and he whispered in his ear, "You're going to survive." He gave him faith.
Thank you so much for this, for being here. We can't wait to see it. Appreciate you very much.
Goodbye.
I had a lot of fun with him and with John Corbett, who was also there, actor from My Big Fat Greek Wedding and others. As I mentioned at the start of the show, my girls thought it was great that one of their favorite movie dads was visiting with their dad. He was really good. He said some things. If you want to go, it's on YouTube. If you want to see the whole red carpet, it's like 2 hours. It was chaotic. I guess I could apply to Access Hollywood now. Never done anything like that, but it was really a lot of fun to do. But Corbett was very complimentary of St. Louis, but at the same time, he seemed saddened by how empty downtown was when he stayed down here and was rooting for it to come back. He said, "I'm from Wheeling, West Virginia. I understand sometimes where, things aren't functioning at 100%, and something along those lines. And I want the city to do well." And I thought that it was really great. I thought it was a good step to have a Hollywood-like red carpet atmosphere in St. Louis. Nothing but good, positive vibes out of that. Good to visit with William H. Macy. Let's take a break. We'll come back. And when we do, we will shift our attention to hockey. The Blues won last night. Their opener is coming up on Thursday. We'll hear from Coach Jim Montgomery and players, and Keith Fisher, the hockey coach at Lindenwood University. Lots of hockey coming. Then we are going to shift to the NFL. NFL picks at 11:05, 11:15. We'll be visited by the president of McKelvey Homes, Jim Brennan, with a very special announcement, one of our great partners. At 11:30, it is the extended visit with Chaim Bloom, Cardinals president of baseball operations. And at 11:45, Bernie Miklasz, who I've been texting with here for the last 10, 15 minutes. He just heard my entire opening monologue, and he has some thoughts. That's coming up next. Sports on a Sunday morning from the Stiefel Sports Studio.
KMOX Weekend at your service, sponsored by Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation.
House stealing. It's a nightmare that's real. It's the FBI's term for thieves stealing your home's title and draining your equity. Just one fake document filed with a recorder, and scammers can own your home on paper, drain your equity, and do it all without you even knowing. Imagine waking up to a foreclosure or eviction notice. Listen to former title thief Matt Cox.
What people don't realize is the ease in which this crime can happen. I can take the deed to your house and I can transfer that deed into my name. It's a great crime, and it's happening all the time.
So how can you stop the nightmare and protect yourself? Find out if you're already a victim now at HomeTitleLock.com. Use promo code RADIO and get a 30-day free trial of their $1 million triple lock protection, a title scan, and access to a title specialist, a $250 value. Don't wait. Go to HomeTitleLock.com now, promo code RADIO.
It's coming. I cannot wait. FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook, is coming to Missouri December 1st, and you will be able to bet on all your favorite teams and all your favorite sports. Couldn't happen at a better time of the year. You got pro and college football, basketball, you've got hockey. It's all going on. And with FanDuel, all kinds of ways to get in on the action. You could bet the money line, over under, bet the spread. You could even bet the futures. How about MVP or who's going to win the championship or just make it to the playoffs? All of that is there for you to bet with FanDuel. Plus, with live betting, you can even pick which player is going to score the next touchdown and the touchdown after that. I love to live bet when the game is happening. It's a lot of fun. And with the downloaded FanDuel app on your phone, you can do it now and get used to it because the app is going to be available to use live in Missouri in December. See for yourself why FanDuel is America's #1 sportsbook. FanDuel, play your game. 21 and over, present in Missouri. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
I'm Dave Glover, and I see clearly now thanks to the doctors, Dr. Greg Birdie, Ranjan Malhotra, Robert Brusati, and Andy Royer. You can too. Just go to youridoc.com.
Hey, it's Jeff Sachs at Sachs Financial. Did you know that you have a pension and there are ways to maximize how you take it? That's right. It's called Social Security. Find out more at retiresafestl.com/guide. That's retiresafestl.com/guide.
Hey, Dave, it's Tamara, the flavor temptress, and your good friend from Clementine's Ice Cream. I just wanted to say congratulations on 25 years. Not only are you the sexiest man in daytime radio, but you're probably the only man with the best looking feet. Here's to the next 25. Cheers to you, my friend.
Hi, Debbie Monterey with Gloria Liu, owner of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. Gloria, you've been helping families for more than 22 years with your guarantees, your buyers in waiting program, and you were telling me that between now and the end of the year is a good time to sell. Can you share why?
Always good to see you. When it comes to timing, the spring and fall selling season have historically been the most active. However, due to raised home value and affordability, this market still has lots of sellers and buyers on the sidelines. Fact is, between now and year end is a great time to discuss the sale of your home. I have guaranteed sale program solutions for every situation, including instant multiple cash offers, 100% market value, or my trusted guarantee sale program, where I'll sell your home at our agreed upon price, or I will buy it myself.
Sounds like a plan. The time is now. Call Gloria Liu at 314-325-6888, 314-325-6888, or visit GloriaHasTheBuyers.com, GloriaHasTheBuyers.com. Gloria and seller must agree on price and possession date.
Join Mark Patrick seminars and lose the weight or stop smoking guaranteed. That's right, weight loss seminar at the Marriott St. Louis West in St. Louis at 11 a.m. Registration 10:30 a.m. Stop smoking seminar 2 p.m. Registration 1:30 p.m.
Now, back to the Gray Bar Sports on a Sunday morning on 104.1 KMOX. From the Stifel Financial Sports Studio, here is Tom Ackerman.
A lot of great comments coming in. Appreciate you very much. Based on what I was saying earlier about the Cardinals, this is Bill, said he bought 100 tickets in 21 and 22, some in 23, but haven't been back to the stadium since and was looking forward to going back in 26. But now we'll just watch games on TV until Ali is gone. Wow. Well, that seems a little extreme, but do what you got to do. DLW says Ali only had 2 reliable starting pitchers. Yeah, I would agree with that. In fact, in the end, he only had 1 in Sonny Gray until they put Michael McGreevy in there. This is KT said, becoming the Cubs wait till next year crap. I don't know. The Cubs are pretty good. I think they look pretty good. They're better than the Cardinals are. I know what you mean, though, KT. I got you. This is another one. Team regressed as the year went on. Second worst in the NL. No change to coaches. Obviously, they're lacking. No development. Most fans want change, says Rob. Yeah, no, I understand that. I'm only posting some, some of these comments because I think it's important, again, to understand what fans, they don't speak for all fans, but what the fans who are upset about, the ones who are being negative about it, what they feel. And it's important whether they're basing it on fact or just they don't like him or whatever the case may be. I want to hear what people have to say. I got a private DM from someone who said that Ali, the reason that people are upset with Ali is he makes bad decisions based on spreadsheets, that he doesn't read the analytics right. And, so again, they have new leadership right now with Chaim Bloom. I mean, things are going to change in a lot of different ways. Just be prepared for that. Let's shift our attention quickly to the Blues and Blues coach Jim Montgomery. After a 4-0 win over the Blackhawks last night, the Blues now have some decisions to make. They have a 23-man roster that they have to finalize. They did send 5 players to Springfield today, including a player who was really good in Otto Stenberg. I thought he was excellent for them. Dvorsky also among those going to Springfield. Let's hear from Montgomery after a 4-0 win over the Hawks.
Overall, I thought camp was a success in the fact that we thought we worked really hard. We got a lot accomplished. We got all areas covered, 3-on-3, pulled goalie situation, both ways, for and against. And then how hard camp was. We thought we pushed them hard. And we thought in the last week we backed off how long practices were, and we thought that would help us in the games, and it did.
Anything you saw today that says you're ready for the start of the season?
Just our team structure in the last 2 games. Tonight was our best structure, and last game was the best pace we played with.
A lot of talk going into camp about having you at the start of camp would be a benefit. What do you think in what ways was that the biggest benefit for you?
Well, the cohesion of the group, you could tell right away in practice, we understand how we want to play. We understand our identity. And I think that helped us play and practice well.
One on Snuggerud. What do you thought about his passing and playmaking ability, and how much of an overall threat he'll be because of that going into the season?
Yeah, I mean, we know that, he sees the ice really well. He showed us that last year, and that's why, a lot of guys like playing with him, because when someone moves the puck really well, like him, like Kyrou, like Holloway, like Neighbors, like a lot of players we have, they like playing together, and that's what makes us so formidable, is that we have a lot of weapons that can mix and match together.
Closing it up here, of the up-and-coming prospects coming, who's showing for you, and look forward to keeping tabs on this season.
On the back end, Lindstein and Skinner would come to mind right away. And then I would say up front, Dvorsky, Kaskamaki, and Stenberg really come to mind.
On Kaskamaki, what stood out about his overall camp and how close he is to being an NHL player?
How smart he is, how reliable he is. He's trustworthy. He's on the right side of the puck. You can see him being a bottom 6 forward and having success.
All good.
Thank you.
That's Coach Jim Montgomery after the Blues 4-0 win over the Blackhawks. Kastamaki, Stenberg, some of the names that he mentioned there, Lindstein, they were assigned to Springfield, but they are going to keep a very close eye on those young players. The Blues have a very nice mix right now of veterans, young emerging players. That Dylan Holloway is something special. I mean, he is a tremendous talent. I look forward to it. It all comes down to goaltending to me. If Bennington and Hofer are as good as they need to be, the Blues will be right there. I think they've upgraded defensively. Can keep an eye on Logan Mailloux and see how good he can be as a younger Colton Parayko type. And of course, it's all about up the middle as well, which they have upgraded. And I think that the Blues could be a contender. I think they are a contender for a shot at a playoff spot and maybe even a run at a Stanley Cup if they add at the deadline. Let's join a little college hockey discussion for the back half of our hockey segment. And we're joined by the head coach at Lindenwood University. Keith Fisher is with us on KMOX. Coach, it's great to have you back on.
Hey, guys. Thanks for having me on again.
It's a pleasure. Well, you open up the season against Wisconsin. How about that to start the season? And last year, surprised Wisconsin, the Lions did. This time around, they came in and they were able to take care of business. 3-0 in the first game and 7-3 was the score last night. How would you assess those 2 games and what you saw?
Yeah, I mean, we're taking steps as a team, and just listening to that interview with Coach Montgomery there, he talked about having a team identity, and we're still getting our team identity. We have 16 new players on the roster, and so we're coming together as a team. But not the results we wanted this weekend, but I think we took good steps, and we did some good things. We just need to keep building on those things and be a little bit more consistent.
Yeah, it's a 1-0 game in that opener. I want to focus on that one, that Friday night game. It's a 1-0 game for a while. And then I believe this is right, that you went on the power play a couple of times, but just weren't able to get anything through. I think you only got one shot on goal in those two. That is a huge key. If you go back to Montgomery, his successful teams were great on the power play. If you can get that power play clicking, I think you are on the road to success.
Yeah, I mean that helps. I thought we played a good game on Friday. We didn't give up a 5-on-5 goal. The goals we gave up were on the power play 4-on-4, and then we gave up an empty netter. So I thought defensively we were really good. I thought in the neutral zone we did a lot of good things. And then we didn't have much of a identity offensively that we needed to work on. And then turn that over to last night. We gave up 2 power play goals in the first period, so our PK needs to be, improve a little bit. But then we had some offensive identity in the second period and scored 2 goals. You outshot them 18-11 in the period, and unfortunately took some penalties, undisciplined penalties in the third period, and the game got away from us a little bit.
And then going back to Friday, you won that face-off battle too. Did you win it Saturday? I didn't see the stats on that, but I know you did on Friday.
Yeah, I mean, that's something really important. That's part of our objectives of a statistic that we want to win. I think it's really important to have all 5 guys on the ice ready for a face-off, and it shows if you're ready to compete.
College hockey, man, love it. You've got Lake Superior State, 2 games coming up Friday and Saturday, and then back at it, Centene Community Ice Center. Look at this. The University of Denver comes rolling in Friday and Saturday, the 17th and 18th, not to mention my daughter's school. She's a freshman at Miami University in Ohio on the 24th and 25th. Some big games in October, Coach.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't get easy for us, but that's a good thing. You know what? We want to play the top teams in college hockey, and we're doing that. And, I think that's going to help prepare us for the season overall. This weekend, Wisconsin's a top 20 team, and I thought both games were a high pace. So that's really going to prepare us for this weekend up in Lake State, and then returning for Denver and Miami. But, this whole season, we just want to keep building and keep getting better for the end of the season tournament there that we're going to be hosting at Centene with all the independent schools. And, that's our goal, is to win that at the end of the year.
This is Keith Fisher, the head coach at Lindenwood University, the hockey coach who I recall our first conversation that you spent, as we talked about, that long run on the staff at Penn State, but you were a distant, not too far away, fan of the Blues growing up, weren't you? Specifically of Brett Hull. So you understood the community here very well.
Yeah, I mean, the Blues, I've always had respect for an organization. It goes back to my youth days growing up in northern Minnesota, and I actually watched Brett Hull play at Minnesota Duluth in college there, and just followed his pro career here at in St. Louis, and have always had affinity for the St. Louis area, and they do a tremendous job developing hockey players here. And I've been coaching for almost 25 years now, and I've almost always had a player from St. Louis on my rosters at every spot I've been. So, and I know how passionate this fan base is about the Blues, and hopefully Lindenwood here in the future. And but I think the potential is big for what we have going in Lindenwood.
A lot of people talking about St. Louis as a hockey fan now. You didn't have that when I was growing up. I mean, it was hard to get any time on rinks. Now you got rinks popping up everywhere, and look at this, Maryville's getting big time. I mean, it's real, isn't it, Coach? I mean, St. Louis, there is a buzz right now about what's happening at the youth level.
I mean, it's awesome to hear, and just getting more immersed in the hockey community here. And kind of the saying is, if you build it, they'll come. And you could probably put up 8 to 10 more sheets of ice throughout the community, and they'd all be full. So it's exciting, not only with the youth boys from around the community, but also the youth girls is growing as well. So the more hockey fan, I mean, it's a tremendous sport, and the more kids playing, I think everybody's going to benefit from it.
If you go to Lindenwood University's site, it's very easy to get tickets. All you have to do is just go there, and you can get tickets to those Denver games coming up the following weekend. So this weekend, again, they're at Lake Superior State, and then they have the University of Denver Friday and Saturday. Just a final thing, your message to the fans, not only in St. Charles, your home area there for Lindenwood, but also around St. Louis. What can they expect, and what would you like to see from them?
I want to see them out at games. I think once they attend a game at Centene, they're going to want to come back. But we're going to have product on the work extremely hard. And they're going to go out and compete every night. And college hockey is an unbelievable product. And, St. Louis did an unbelievable job of supporting the Frozen Four last year when it was here in town. And I think we can take some of that support and bring it over to Centene and support Lindenwood. And college hockey is so fast. And you're seeing a lot of the next step for a lot of these players is the NHL. So we're kind of the minor leagues of hockey right now too. So you're going to see the stars of the NHL coming up and see a great fast-paced action, both ends, hard hitting. It's just a fun time for the family to come out and watch some hockey.
The Lindenwood Lions and their hockey program is run by Keith Fisher, the head coach, joining us on KMOX. It's great to talk to you again. All the best this season. We'll stay in touch with you. We'll keep our eyes on what's going on there, not to mention the football program, which is coming off a great win against Tennessee Martin. Appreciate you, Coach. Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks for having me.
You bet. Good to talk to. My daughter went to Miami's home opener. She had a blast there in Oxford. College hockey's cool, man. You should go see it. We're going to take a break. We'll come back, have our NFL picks. We have a lot of good stuff coming, including John Rooney's sit down with Chaim Bloom. Bernie Miklasz, boy, he's ready to go already. We're going to try to get to him ASAP. Probably in the 11:40, 11:45 range. Sports on a Sunday morning from the Stiefel Sports Studio. We will be right back.
Fall is here. Baseball, beautiful weather, and the changing colors of trees and shrubs. When you think of your trees, call family-owned Gamma Tree Experts. Fall is a great time to prune and fertilize your valuable trees. Our staff of certified arborists will survey your trees to determine their needs. Knowledge and quality are hallmarks of our reputation. Call Gamma Tree Experts at 314-725-6159 or visit us at gammatree.com. Your trees deserve the best care.
Red Kingdom is back at FanDuel Sports Network Live in Ballpark Village. See every game on the largest screen in town. Don't forget about the $25 buckets, $5 cocktails, and the best tailgate food around. Grab your friends along with KMOX and huddle up for the games at the best watch party in town. If you can't make it, but don't want to miss it down, listen to the Chiefs on KMOX or KMOX on the Odyssey app. For more info, KMOX.com/events.
Herman's Hermits, starring Peter Noon.
Something tells me I'm into something good.
And The Lovin' Spoonful.
Do you believe in magic?
Saturday, October 25th at the Family Arena with the Hollies' greatest hits, starring Terry Sylvester. Get tickets now at the Carroll House Furniture box office, located at the Family Arena or Ticketmaster. Herman's Hermits, starring Peter Noon and The Lovin' Spoonful.
Starship featuring Mickey Thomas. With John Cafferty and the Beaver Brown Band. Shooting Star.
Last chance to believe in yourself.
In Missouri. Saturday, November 15th, the Family Arena. Reserve seats on sale now at the Carroll House Furniture box office, located at the Family Arena or Ticketmaster.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. If someone talked you into buying something really silly and you want to get out of that silly little thing, my advice, get the facts. Call me and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit absolutely free. Inside, you'll learn how timeshare works and all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free timeshare exit information kit. 800-384-9393. That's 800-384-9393. Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio.
Winner of the National Edward R. Murrow Award for breaking news. KMOX AM St. Louis, KMOX FM Hazelwood. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
Negotiations for what appears to be the end of the Gaza war start tomorrow. From Washington, CBS's Linda Kenyon says there is a long list of issues.
Secretary of State Marco Rubio says working out details for the release of the hostages will be the first order of business. Then planning for a post-war Gaza will be next.
It's going to take a lot of hard work and time. You're trying to build something that doesn't exist right now, which is civilian Palestinian leadership that's not tied to terrorism. That doesn't exist right now. It's going to take a lot of help from international partners.
On CBS's Face the Nation, Secretary Rubio said Special Envoy to the Mideast Steve Witkoff and President Trump's son-in-law Jared Kushner will represent the U.S. in the talks.
A court order will keep the Trump administration from sending National Guard troops to Portland, Oregon for about 2 weeks. The administration wants to do the same thing in Chicago. Governor J.D. Pritzker tells CNN State of the Union he doesn't like power play politics.
They want mayhem on the ground. They want to create the war zone so that they can send in even more troops. Now they're claiming they need 300 of Illinois' National Guard. Well, we didn't need them before they showed up.
This is the 5th day of the government shutdown. Essential workers won't get paid for now, even if they're still on the job. One example from CBS's Christiane Benavides.
The shutdown is likely to eventually slow down air travel. The TSA warned of longer wait times at airports as some employees are forced to work with deferred pay.
The just released CBS News survey shows Americans are angry about the shutdown, and they blame both Republicans and Democrats. In Nashville, a skydiving instructor is dead after getting separated from a student during a tandem jump. It's believed the teacher's parachute came off and that he died on impact. The student was found stuck in a tree with an open parachute. Nashville Fire spokeswoman Kendra Loney.
Our rescuer was able to go up and ascend that ladder, unhook him from the parachute that was still stuck in the tree, disconnect that equipment, and then they both were able to descend on their own.
The Bush political dynasty has been a long-standing one. It's included senators, congressmen, ambassadors, and presidents, and perhaps the next governor of Maine. Here's CBS's Christopher Cruz.
Jonathan Bush is the cousin of former President George W. Bush and the nephew of former President George H.W. Bush, who had a coastal summer home in southern Maine for many years. In a statement, the 56-year-old healthcare entrepreneur says he'll be joined at his announcement this week by, quote, several hundred supporters, friends, and colleagues. 6 Republicans are running for the nomination, but none have the name recognition of Jonathan Bush.
This is CBS News.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. Get the parts and service you need fast from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
At 11:03, it's sunny and 75 degrees downtown at the Gateway Arch. Good morning. I'm Scott Jagow. Our top story, let's talk about what's happening in Chicago. Illinois National Guard troops being sent there.
Illinois' Democratic governor says the Trump administration plans to federalize 300 members of the Illinois National Guard in a move J.B. Pritzker calls absolutely outrageous and un-American. Governor Pritzker didn't specify where the troops would be deployed, but he says the Guard received word from the Pentagon Saturday morning that the troops would be called up. Pritzker says in a statement, "This morning, the Trump administration's Department of War gave me an ultimatum. Call up your troops or we will." The move follows similar deployments in Baltimore, Memphis, Los Angeles, and Washington, D.C. President Donald Trump has long threatened to send troops into Chicago, and Pritzker calls Trump's move a manufactured performance that would pull the state's National Guard troops away from their families and regular jobs. I'm Donna Warder.
Meanwhile, Alton police are investigating a Friday night crash that killed a teenage girl. Police say 17-year-old Grace Bustos was driving with her mother, Megan, when they collided with another vehicle. Happened around 9 at the intersection of Homer Adams Parkway and Seminary Road. Grace died at the scene. Her mother was airlifted to the hospital in stable condition. Officers say the other driver showed signs of impairment and was arrested. A Carlisle, Illinois law enforcer has a message for drivers. Lock your vehicles and remove the keys when you step out.
Clinton County Sheriff Dan Travis is quoted on social media saying, "We are easy prey and we will continue to be until we stop thinking it won't happen out here." Travis says at least 2 vehicles were stolen early Saturday from Germantown and several others burglarized. He says numerous police agencies joined deputies in chasing one of the stolen cars from Albers to East St. Louis. Travis says 3 young adults from St. Louis were taken into custody. An additional vehicle reported stolen from Greenville days earlier was recovered in Albers and may be linked to the same suspects. Brad Choate, KMOX News.
A once popular drugstore chain has closed nationwide.
Rite Aid is closing all locations. That's according to a recent post on the U.S. pharmacy chain's website, which also says, "We thank our loyal customers for their many years of support." Rite Aid filed for bankruptcy in May, the second such filing in about 2 years. It also filed in October 2023. More than 520 Rite Aid pharmacies have closed since then, which was about a quarter of the 2,100 open at the time of the bankruptcy filing. The website for the company, founded in 1962, now only shows a service to help former customers find a new pharmacy and a link to request pharmacy records. Matt Piper, CBS News.
KMOX AccuWeather, sunny and very warm this afternoon. High 87, clear and warm tonight, again down to 67. Still summer-like tomorrow, partly sunny, a thunderstorm in spots in the afternoon up into the mid-80s, and variably cloudy Tuesday. A couple of showers and even a thunderstorm, the high 76. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, I'm AccuWeather meteorologist John Feerick on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Thanks, John. It's 76 in St. Peters. We have 79 in Florissant, 75 sunny skies downtown at the Arch. I'm Scott Jagal, KMOX News.
From KMOX Sports, this is the Gray Bar Sports on a Sunday morning. Gray Bar, your distributor for electrical and datacom needs. Now, from the Stifel Financial Sports Studio, here is Tom Ackerman.
We'll talk some baseball with Bernie Miklasz at 11:45. Before that, Chaim Bloom with the voice of the Cardinals, John Rooney. Lots of baseball. Continuing on a topic that we started this show. We just went 25 minutes straight on taking calls from fans and really tapping into it. I just want to know what fans think. I love that. I've always done it. I mean, I take calls. I took calls. Look, I've heard it all. I took calls all night long after Cardinal losses, and all I would have to say is Tony La Russa, 314-436-7900. And people would go nuts. Tony La Russa is one of the best managers of all time. So, I've heard it. I understand it. I grew up a fan of this team. I started at KMOX in 1997. Nothing you say is going to shock me or hurt me. Okay. I backed you all. Those of you who don't go to the games. And when Greg Amsinger or whoever the big anchors were who were like, I just think this fan base is spoiled. I can't believe they're not going to the games. I backed you. And I said, don't ever point a finger at the Cardinal fan base. They are the last people to blame for this. And by the way, I stand by that still. Okay. So I'm still in your corner. I'm just telling you that I'm going to be realistic about this whole thing and say it is not one person. It's not one thing. It is a collective. We thought that the way we were doing it was correct, and it's not anymore. And that's why they brought in an outside person who has been watching it for 2 years to audit this organization. And now he has taken over. He's been on the job for 5 days officially. So let's just all take a breath and watch this thing. If there is no change between now and the start of the season, then you can all come back and tell me that I'm wrong. Now, I didn't do any college football last hour, and I apologize for that for college football fans that were waiting, I'm sure, for all those top 25 scores that you can get on your phone in like 2 seconds. But I will say brief comments about college football, which is a passion of mine. I love it so much. Penn State coach James Franklin can't win the big game, now can't win the small game. That's a real problem. Going back 5 years ago, this always stayed with me with Franklin. None of you will remember this, but I'm just going to remind you. Maybe you will. They were up 56-0 on Georgia State. 11 seconds to go. Georgia State takes the ball down the field. They have a 31-yard field goal to kick to make it 56-3. James Franklin, as the ball goes through the uprights, is granted a timeout. He called timeout. He iced the kicker. Now, he went back and said, we had the wrong unit on the field. We didn't have our field goal block unit on the field. And so I called timeout to get the alignment right, so these guys learn. Come on, man. Are you kidding me? Why would you want to block the field goal? It's 56-0. I mean, just let the guy, who cares? Just say, I didn't mean to call a timeout. Let's just go home. 56. No, he wanted the shutout, and he never said it, and that bothered me. So I'm not like rooting against James Franklin. I'm just saying something wasn't all right there for me back then. Penn State losing to UCLA is inexcusable. UCLA 0-4. At the same time, happy for Jerry Neuheisel and all those people getting a chance to lead a big team like that. The other one that jumped out at me was Illinois. That was impressive. And I know that Purdue is not good, but what they did to Barry Odom and putting 27 points on him in the second quarter was impressive. That was a trap. You'd beat USC. You have Ohio State coming. That's one of those games that'll come back and bite you. Just ask anybody. Ask Penn State. Just happened. So they did. They took care of business. That was a good business trip for Illinois. They should be happy about that. Now this is going to be incredible to see Ohio State come in and see if they can give them a game. It's going to be awesome to see Alabama come into Mizzou and see if they can beat them, give them a game and beat them, and try to be an SEC power. This is their chance to get out of the middle of the pack SEC conversation, beat Alabama, and be a real college football playoff contender. What fun we're going to have this coming Saturday. Love college football. That said, it is time. It is time for NFL picks.
And a key block by the left guard, Tom Ackerman. And right here, let's go downstairs to Bonnie.
Marv, if you remember that big run Robert Holcomb had on the first drive, one of the guys responsible on help busting him loose was Tom Ackerman.
Tom Ackerman up front, and this is a unit that has played very well. A good night for Eddie George. 21 carries, 74 yards. The left guard, Tom Ackerman, with the block that set him free. It's a first down.
The great, what happened? It just cut off out of nowhere. The great Tom Ackerman, former Saints and right there Titans offensive lineman. Now it's time for the picks. I've gone 500 this year, 50%. So you haven't lost anything, you haven't won anything if you followed all my picks. I'm ready to turn that around right here, right now. We have one game in progress. Cleveland leads Minnesota 17-14. That game is in London. The Browns and the Vikings going on right now. Here are your noon games today. Get ready. Get your fantasy team lineup set, by the way. Do it by 11:50. Don't wait till the last second. They might lock you out. Just a tip. Not that that's ever happened to me. Las Vegas at Indianapolis. It's a noon kickoff in Indy. This Colts team is good. Don't be fooled by the fact that they lost to the Rams last week. They are a very good football team. They are a 7-point favorite against the Raiders, and I like them to win this game by more than 7 today. I think Colts are going to show up today and win this football game against Vegas. Indianapolis -7. Giants at New Orleans. Ooh, I ragged on the Giants last week. I was wrong about that. Jackson Dart, like him. That guy, now, the Saints are bad, granted, but he's going to run on this team today. I think he's going to, because he doesn't have Malik Neighbors out for the year. That's a shame. That's a real shame. That kid's a player. But Jackson Dart, he can throw, he can run. I like the Giants +2. Give me Giants +2 at New Orleans today. Come on. Dallas at the Jets, ugly game, but I'm going to go Cowboys -1 on the road. Don't love the Cowboys for a lot of reasons, but the Jets are brutal. They're not going to win that. Denver at Philadelphia. The Eagles, Super Bowl champions. They're -4 at home against the Broncos. This Denver team's pretty decent, but the Eagles will run their way to a victory today. Give me Eagles -4. Miami at Carolina. Carolina is a confounding, strange team. They got drilled at New England last week, 42-13, a week after beating Atlanta 30-0. They are on a roller coaster type season. The Dolphins were impressive with their last win, but again, it was against the Jets, who are awful. And I'm going to take the Dolphins on the road, -1 at Carolina. The other noon game is Houston at Baltimore. Texans 2-point favorite on the road. How is that possible? Well, because Lamar Jackson didn't play. Yep, Ravens are banged up. But that said, I have a feeling that they're going to figure it out today. There is no way they're going to go 1-4, right? I mean, they were one of the best teams in the league to start the year. I'm going to go Baltimore +2. I'm going to put a little faith in them. Tennessee at Arizona later today. Cardinals pretty good. 7-point spread I hate, though. I think this game might be a little closer. I'm going to go. Gosh, the Titans are bad. All right, I'll do it. Arizona -7. Tampa Bay at Seattle. Like both of these teams a lot. Two potential playoff teams going head-to-head. I'm going to take Seattle -4 at home. Betting a lot of favorites here, I feel like. Detroit at Cincinnati. Cincinnati is a 9.5-point dog at home. They are struggling without Joe Burrow. I think the Lions put it on them today and cover the 9.5. Washington at the Chargers. I'll take Chargers -2.5 at home. New England at Buffalo. 8 points. I'm going to go Patriots +8. You know, the Bills last week played a horrendous New Orleans team and only beat them by 12. Maybe they're not capable of killing teams, although they beat the Jets, the hapless Jets on the road. Yeah, they beat the Dolphins by 10 at home. They beat the Saints by 12 at home. I figure the same type of thing with the Patriots are a little better than that. So I'm going to go Patriots -8. Scott Jagow's in the newsroom. Curious what his response to that is. Even though it's even a Sunday night game, I'm even going to do it there. And then Kansas City at Jacksonville. Give me Chiefs all day. Chiefs -3.5 at Jacksonville. That seems like a gimme to me, but if Jacksonville rises up on Monday Night Football, good for them. I think the Chiefs are starting to turn it now. They'll turn it up, and they'll win this game by more than 3.5 on the road. That's your NFL picks. Use that as you will. We'll take a break. We'll come back and talk about some great things that are happening here in St. Louis. We are raising money left and right, and a record-breaking night at the Third Degree Glass Factory for the Dravet Syndrome Foundation. Don't forget, Chaim Bloom is coming up, as well as Bernie Miklasz. Sports on a Sunday morning on K. Wait, hold on one second. I just saw this. William Starnes commented, St. Louis promoting the NFL. Something wrong with you people. Dude, what in the world? What is with people today? William, my man. Come on, man. How long have you been listening to me? I mean, have I not scorched Stan Kroenke and his little weasel assistant, Kevin Demoff, for years? I'm giving NFL picks. It's the most popular sport in the country right now, and people like watching the league. I don't sit there and obsess over it. I have it on during the day. People like watching the league. We're not promoting anything. All right. Why am I so ornery today? We'll take a break. We'll come back with more. It's Sports on a Sunday morning. Back in a moment.
Do you hear that? Asthma triggers are everywhere, from dust mites, pet dander, and pollen to smog and smoke. An asthma attack can strike anywhere, anytime. Be prepared with quick-acting Primatene Mist. Clinically proven to open airways quickly. It's the #1 FDA-approved asthma inhaler available over the counter. Primatene Mist. Breathe easy again. Use as directed.
What was that? That is business phone bliss with the Ooma Cloud Phone System. It handles all our voice, video, and messaging needs. You sound very calm. I am. Ooma has everything I need to run my business more efficiently, like virtual receptionist, call routing, and video conferencing. And it starts at just $19.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees. Ooma. Nice. Find your business comm at ooma.com/radio.
It's Tom Ackerman. Football season is here. It's in full swing, and Underdog is the best place to get in on all the action right here in Missouri. Playing on Underdog is easy. I love playing Underdog, just choosing which players will go higher or lower on stats, rushing yards, touchdowns, etc. You get your entries right, you can win up to 5,000 times your cash. So much fun to play, so easy to play during football season. All you have to do is download the Underdog app. It's on your phone. It's very simple. Sign up with promo code TOM. That's important. You'll score $100 in bonus funds or entries when you play your first $5. That's promo code TOM. Underdog, make plays, win money. Must be 18 plus and present in Missouri. Terms apply. See assets.underdogfantasy.com/web/play and get terms _DFS_.html for details. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. If someone talked you into buying something really silly and you want to get out of that silly little thing, my advice, get the facts. Call me and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit absolutely free. Inside, you'll learn how timeshare works and all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free timeshare exit information kit. 800-384-9393. That's 800-384-9393.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. Ever wonder why Big Wireless wants you on an unlimited plan? They probably want you to cover the cost of those 20-somethings using all that data every month. But most people 50 and up like me only use 12 gigs or less. Don't get bamboozled by Big Wireless. Switch to Consumer Cellular. Our plans start at just $20, and we use the same towers as the big guys. Join the millions who choose something better, because if you're not using all that data, you're probably getting used.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com/facts or a store near you. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
Hi, I'm Jim Brennan with McKelvey Homes. McKelvey is on the move with 3 new communities and prime locations opening soon. The early bird gets the worm, so get your pick of the home sites and the best prices first. Join our VIP list at McKelveyHomes.com. Strawberry Farms is located on Mexico Road east of Highway K from the 480s. Post Farms on Highway N near Duello Road from the 540s, or the Reserve in Wildwood at Highways 109 and 100 from $560,000 to $1 million plus. It's a great time to move up to McKelvey.
Now, back to the Gray Bar Sports on a Sunday morning on 104.1 KMOX. From the Stifel Financial Sports Studio, here is Tom Ackerman.
Chaim Bloom in the John Mozeliak spot at 11:30 and Bernie Miklasz at 11:45. Sports on a Sunday morning on KMOX. It's 11:22 and the dulcet tones of Jim Brennan, the president of McKelvey Homes. You just heard that commercial. He is one of our great sponsors and partners here at KMOX, and now he is live in our studio. My great friend, Jim, how are you?
It is great to be live with Tom Ackerman.
Yeah.
And Tom, I want to tell you, despite all those calls you're getting or messages, we love you here. The Brennans love you.
I appreciate that very much. I think that they like me as well. I'm never really worried about that. I think what they don't like is the direction of the club. And so that's what I've always understood. I'm just the listener. I like to let them vent and let them talk, and then we analyze it, and the Cardinals hear it, and they want to hear what the customer has to say. And that's how it should be. That's our role here.
Feedback is great.
The 50,000 watt blowtorch. How are you, man?
I'm great. We're still so excited and thankful, grateful for the wonderful results from our Dance for Gervais last Friday. I got to tell you, Tom, you crushed it. We had a record crowd with 500 people there. We raised over $900,000, and dollars are still coming in. I remember when my brother-in-law, Ted Odlog, set a goal 7 years ago to try to cumulatively raise $1 million. And thanks to you, your outstanding job as an MC, we raised almost $1 million just this year alone.
Well, I appreciate that. You did a great job of building it, and your audience was ready to go. I mean, they were ready to donate, and they did an incredible job. Gervais syndrome is a rare form of epilepsy. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, it's a rare form of epilepsy, and my sister, Pat, my oldest sister, I've got 5 sisters, and Patsy's the oldest. Her son, Andrew, and his wife, Kim, had Anna. In fact, last Sunday, a week ago, Anna celebrated her 8th birthday. Her favorite song is Happy Birthday, and they had a party at our home on Saturday. I think they sang it 4 times, and Anna is sweet as could be, the happiest girl, but she has real issues with these multiple seizures. It's a genetic disorder, and the Brennans, the Odlogs, are all working to try to find a cure. to raise funds because you really need money to help do the research. And Tom, with you, I mean, you got so much money out of these people. I've never seen them so happy. The Brennan family, the building industry, people like Joe Servan and Adam Hendricks at Chick Lumber, and our bankers, our friendly bankers. I mean, Jim Jones from Montgomery Bank, they've been there as our bar sponsor. Kevin Baker donating a trip to Muirfield. St. Louis Bank, Kevin King. I borrowed a lot of money over the years, Tom, and I've paid it all back. And these guys have really dug deep and helped support to come up with this record amount achieved just in 1 year alone.
And I want to pull March of Dimes into this a little bit too, because the night before I did their event and they raised $450,000, and their chairman of the event, Samantha Cook of Brinkman Constructors, said to the crowd, whatever you're thinking about giving, stretch it a little more. And I said, I'm going to use that line tomorrow, because I do think that when things are going well, that it's okay to give a little bit more, and we're a very giving community. And so if it is within your means and you can, boy, there are some people that really need it. And within 2 days, I think we helped a lot of children in the St. Louis area.
You do so much for the community. You are a real asset to St. Louis. And I mean, every night you're doing another one tonight for Ozzy. Right?
Ozzy. Yeah. That's PGA Reach, Gateway PGA Reach Foundation.
And you help us sell homes. And what we're happy to do, Rose, my wife, who's sitting here without a microphone, I'm trying to get her on, but she says no one should be hungry.
She's
homeless.
on camera right now.
She is on camera. There she is. Doesn't she look great?
Yep.
No one should be hungry, homeless, or without health care. And so in keeping with that, we're happy to announce for the fourth quarter, for every home we sell, and you help us sell a bunch of homes, Tom, we give $1,898 to a charity for every home we sell in the quarter. In the fourth quarter, we're going to do the ACA Affordable Housing Fund. It helps individuals and families to find a safe place to live and a future they can call their own, getting them hope, stability, and dignity. It started last year, and they've already awarded over $2 million in grants to Catholic housing agencies. Archbishop Rosansky wanted to be here today, but he's got Mass on a Sunday morning instead of sports on a Sunday morning. And what the Archdiocese has done to help people for decades is to help people in need. And so we're proud to be affiliated with them and give $1,898 for every home we sell to help housing, not just rental or rental assistance, but helping people get off the street into shelters, out of shelters into a house. And there's nothing like a home of your own. It's the American dream. And, it provides stability to the family and stability to our whole community. So we are really looking forward to doing that. We're going to have to sell a lot of homes this quarter. And, McKelvey Homes, we've got move-in ready homes. We've got over 30 of them. And we've got some really great deals with special financing that we buy down that interest rate. Even though the rates are affordable now, we can make them even better. Great savings in our carpenters union. We're all union carpenters. They're giving up to $10,000 for every McKelvey home that we sell to that customer to help them pay their closing cost or buy down their loan or whatever it may be. So it's a great time to buy a brand new home. And not only in our existing communities, but we got 3 new ones. Strawberry Farms, we just opened yesterday, selling from our Cotterville Trails in St. Charles. We've got the Reserve, where you just heard me a couple seconds earlier, out in Wildwood on 100 and 109, where our VIP list is forming now. And then we'll have the estates at Post Farms in O'Fallon, also in St. Charles. So it's a great time to buy a brand new home. And when you buy a home from us, you know that you're going to be helping somebody else find a nice place to live through the Archdiocese of St. Louis.
St. Louis is a great place to live. And when I say St. Louis, I mean the entire region. So we're talking St. Louis County, St. Charles County, the surrounding counties, the Metro East. It's all right there. And for McKelvey Homes in St. Louis County, St. Charles County, McKelveyhomes.com. And remember, 1898, the year they were founded, every dollar of that $1,898 for every home sold will go to the ACA Affordable Housing Fund this quarter. Appreciate you, man.
Thanks, Tom, for all you do. You're the best.
No, you are. Next time we talk, we're going to talk some Belle Reve. I see that BMW championship shirt you have on. That's coming up 2026.
And I tell you, you got some really good prices for actually playing golf with me. Guys that don't have to pay to
Can
play
you
with me.
believe that? And then you gave away a second one?
We gave away 3.
You did.
You just kept pointing at me. He looks at me and I put up 2. Then I put up 3. That plus Cravings dinners, and the BMW next year. I mean, the members of Belle Reve have really supported this charity also. So we're honored to have. We're so blessed to have so many good, generous friends. Kevin and Keely Travers, I mean, our fund in need that you did, Tom, that was a new record. We raised over $106,000 for people getting nothing but satisfaction of helping somebody in need.
Well, here's to a great quarter, and thanks for the time.
Thank you, Tom.
McKelvey Homes president Jim Brennan. When we come back, Chaim Bloom, Cardinals president of baseball operations, Bernie Miklasz to follow him right here on KMOX.
KMOX Weekend at your service, sponsored by Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation.
Hey, Dave, this is Susan L. Ward, and my law firm and I want to wish you congratulations on your 25 years with the show. I am really, really glad that you left family law practice to me, and here's to 25 more for you on radio.
At Gray Bar, we know your time is money. That's why our services go beyond parts and products. With kitting, pre-assembly, wire carts, and Gray Bar smart reels that keep you moving. We stage materials and manage logistics so you can spend less time sorting and more time installing. And with locations nationwide, we deliver when and where you need it, working to make your job easier every step of the way. Yep, Gray Bar does that.
I'm Tom Ackerman with this month's Siteman Cancer Center Spotlight. We are discussing breast cancer with Dr. Debbie Bennett.
It makes a big difference who's actually interpreting the mammogram images that you get. We make sure that we have an expert team of breast radiologists that specialize in reading mammograms to be sure that we can get you the most accurate read possible.
Thanks to Siteman Cancer Center, national leaders in cancer. For more information, visit siteman.wustl.edu.
Hi, this is Charlie Brennan. I see clearly now thanks to the doctors, Greg Birdie, Ranjan Malhotra, Robert Brusati, and Andy Royer. You can too. YourEyeDoc.com.
KMOX proudly supports the Mutual Awards, returning to Stiefel Theater Saturday, November 22nd. You can be in the audience for this nationally televised event, hosted right here in St. Louis. Named for Stan the Man, the show celebrates the year's greatest moments of sportsmanship and those who embody class and character. Experience the extraordinary moments and people that make the Mutual Awards an event like no other. For more information, KMOX.com/events.
House stealing. It's a nightmare that's real. It's the FBI's term for thieves stealing your home's title and draining your equity. Just one fake document filed with a recorder, and scammers can own your home on paper, drain your equity, and do it all without you even knowing. Imagine waking up to a foreclosure or eviction notice. Listen to former title thief Matt Cox.
What people don't realize is the ease in which this crime can happen. I can take the deed to your house and I can transfer that deed into my name. It's a great crime, and it's happening all the time.
So how can you stop the nightmare and protect yourself? Find out if you're already a victim now at HomeTitleLock.com. Use promo code RADIO and get a 30-day free trial of their $1 million triple lock protection, a title scan, and access to a title specialist, a $250 value. Don't wait. Go to HomeTitleLock.com now, promo code RADIO.
Now, back to the Gray Bar Sports on a Sunday morning on 104.1 KMOX. From the Stiefel Financial Sports Studio, here is Tom Ackerman.
Chaim Bloom introduced as the Cardinals president of baseball operations, officially replacing John Mozeliak. And after his address with the media, he sat down for his first radio interview with the voice of the Cardinals, John Rooney.
I spoke with you about this time last year, and I was fascinated by your answer to this question. How important is winning at the minor league level? As you had a winner last year at Class A down at Palm Beach and a winner this year at AA. And I'm told there are 4 or 5 really good major league prospects out of that AA team. But how important is winning?
Well, that's why we do this. We do this to win. Now, all that being said, I think we want to get there the right way in the minor leagues. We want to get there through good development. I think one of the messages that we gave our staff this year, because there's that sort of debate, that age-old debate in the minor leagues, what's more important, winning or development? And I think in some ways, I actually think it's a little bit of a false premise. Like I kind of reject that question. Yeah, sure, there are going to be times when a manager might hold back from making a move that he might make if it were a big league game, because you want to give a prospect a chance, even if strategically that might not be the best thing for winning the game. But really, those things I think are more on the margins. I think the big thing that gets missed in this debate, and I actually had the opportunity to have some good conversation with some of our people and emphasize this. We should always, when it's 7:00, those lights go on, we should always care about winning. The thing that I think we need to really focus on in the minor leagues, and frankly in major leagues too, but this was where we wanted to shift our focus in the minor leagues, is if you're a minor league manager, we shouldn't judge you primarily on your wins and losses at 7:00, because you don't control who's on your roster. You don't necessarily control how those kids play. They're all developing. They're all going to make mistakes. But how are you winning between 1 and 6? How are you creating an environment every day that's going to allow all those players to advance towards the goals that they need to hit in order to be big leaguers? How are you creating an environment that's going to teach these kids how to play the game the way they need to play? How are you creating winning habits in these players? And if we win 1 to 6, 7:00 is going to take care of itself. And we're going to build the types of players who are ultimately going to be winning players that are going to be able to win up here. And so it's really not so much about winning versus development. It's about winning at development. It's about looking at all of that through the lens of, we need to do this better than anybody else. If you're a minor league manager, you're not just competing with the opposition. You're competing against the 29 other people that have your job and waking up every day trying to kick their butts. And that's how I view my job. That's how, I've encouraged our whole staff to think about their jobs that way. For most of us, there's 29 other people that get to do what we do. And we got to outcompete them every day. There's no scoreboard. You'll never know if you did it. But if we have that mindset day after day, we're going to go places.
In your time with John Mozeliak over the last couple of years leading up to today, and how you'll shape the roster and shape everything going into spring training in Jupiter, what do you see out of the group that took part in the 2025 season?
Our group at the big league level.
At the big league level.
Yeah. We have a lot of talent here. I said it from the podium. We know we need more, but there is a lot of good talent on hand. I'm impressed by how this group goes about its business. I think some of that is a reflection on our staff and just the attitude that they take to this, the togetherness that they have, and the care they have for our players. We definitely have a group that certainly in a lot of cases, these guys, I think their best days are ahead of them. We saw some really good things from some guys, and we saw some guys who kind of struggled to get out of neutral and really more just showed flashes. So I think the question for us as we go into the offseason, outside of any decisions that we need to make on them or make on the roster, is how do we take these guys that showed us flashes of potential of what they could be and try to help them build their off seasons in ways that allows that to be more than norm. So much of being a good big leaguer is consistency. I've always thought that if you go into a AA clubhouse or a AAA clubhouse and you look around, pretty much everyone in those clubhouses on their best day is good enough to be in the big leagues. The difference is that the guys that get here and stay here perform at that level 8 or 9 days out of 10. And a lot of the guys that don't get there will only show that to you once or twice. So the question is, with these guys in the big leagues who have shown it to us, but not necessarily shown it to us every day, how can we get them training and routines that's going to enable them to hit their top end more consistently?
Mike Claiborne mentioned to me he was down by the dugout Friday, the last Friday of the season in Chicago, a game where the Cubs scored 12 runs. But he said, Ollie, the other coaches kept teaching. They kept coaching. They kept going through moments in the game, bringing up things to each player that they spoke with, and they did not give up. There was no mailing it in all the way through. And that's something I observed from up there in the booth. Everybody worked hard. Everybody got into the batter's box looking to give a good at bat each time they were in there. How did you see it?
Yeah, I see it the same way. I mean, look, there's plenty of things at all levels of this organization that I've tried to observe where I think there's room for us to take steps forward, areas that I want to push people, areas where I think I can help. Work ethic and care, not an issue. We have that in spades. Everybody really does not give up. They push, they work till the last out, till the last game. That part is really, really impressive. I think I'm actually really happy about that I don't think there's people in here that I need to light a fire under or any of that. I think it's more about how do I help harness that, build systems around it so that we can be more purposeful, more organized, create more accountability around how we're doing these things and how that effort is manifesting. But man, we got a group of people here who really care about what they're doing. They take pride in this. They see getting to wear that uniform every day as the privilege that it is, and they don't take that lightly.
With that said, where does that leave Oliver Marmol and the staff as you evaluate and look forward getting ready for Jupiter?
Yeah, I've really enjoyed getting to know them all. Looking forward to working with Ollie. This role that I had previously has allowed me to get to know him, and we've built a good relationship. And I look forward to that continuing to grow in this seat. Obviously, in this seat, it's a little bit of a different kind of relationship. But really have enjoyed getting to work with him, getting to know him. As we got into conversations late in the season, just about what the future might hold, where I thought the organization needed to go. It felt to me like we were really on the same page as to that. Obviously, his seat's different from my seat. And so there's always things that we need to work together on, that we need to navigate, and even at times that we might disagree on, and that's okay. But I've really enjoyed working with him, and I'm looking forward to building that relationship.
That is Chaim Bloom, Cardinals president of baseball operations, talking about Ollie Marmol right there with John Rooney, the voice of the Cardinals. That was a part of a 26-minute interview that they did at Busch Stadium after his press conference. We have it available on the front page of KMOX.com if you want to listen to the entire thing. We will, and I would highly recommend it. We'll come back and get reaction from Bernie Miklasz. He joins us next on Sports on a Sunday morning on KMOX.
Join Mark Patrick seminars and lose the weight or stop smoking guaranteed. That's right, weight loss seminar at the Marriott St. Louis West in St. Louis at 11 a.m. Registration 10:30 a.m. Stop smoking seminar 2 p.m. Registration 1:30 p.m.
For residential and commercial heating repairs, service, maintenance, or installation, contact Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Installation. With over 50 years of HVAC service, get in your comfort zone this winter. Visit aircomfortservice.com. That's aircomfortservice.com.
At California Psychics, we know that sometimes you can wake up thinking,
I don't know if I'm in the right career, or the right relationship.
But whatever your life dilemma, at California Psychics, we'll give you the guidance you need to feel certain about your life choices. And because we only connect you with the very best, we guarantee if your reading isn't life-changing, it's free. California Psychics. Call 1-800-PREDICT today and get 20 minutes for just $20.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio.
Chesterfield Fence and Deck, one of St. Louis's top names in home improvement. What do? Well, fences and decks, but also sunrooms, patios. They do screen rooms. They will take care of outdoor living like you've never seen. And they use their own professionally trained installation crews. They've been doing this since 1968, operating out of their own warehouses, using their own trucks and tools, large showroom that you can check out all of the fences and decks and sunrooms. Walk through there and you'll see what I saw. A tremendous company and just a well-oiled machine. They really do a great job. Free in-home estimates at no obligation, free project design. When it comes to outdoor living, this is what they excel at. Chesterfield Fence and Deck, telling you what they're going to do and then doing it. All of the products are guaranteed by a 5-year labor warranty, and comprehensive material warranties are also provided. Chesterfield Fence and Deck, a BBB Torch Award winner. Mention me, Tom Ackerman. You'll receive 20% off your next outdoor project with Chesterfield Fence and Deck. The sign you have the very best.
Monday night, get ready for Chiefs football as they face the Jaguars.
Siteman Cancer Center game time, 6 p.m. Siteman Cancer Center, national leaders in cancer.
The Chiefs, the Jaguars, on your home for Chiefs football. 104.1 FM KMOX. Now, back to the Gray Bar Sports on a Sunday morning on 1041 KMOX. From the Stifel Financial Sports Studio, here is Tom Ackerman.
And here is Bernie Miklasz. I love this segment. Get to spend a good 10, 12 minutes with my pal. How are you, buddy?
I've listened to most of the show today. Outstanding work. Outstanding.
Oh, man. Thank you. It's been something I've been sitting on for a while. You know this. You know I love our fans. I mean, I if I could be anywhere in sports, it would be there are two places that warm my heart. You know, I love my alma mater, and I've got myself a football team now, and I love our basketball tradition at Indiana. But man, do I love Cardinals baseball and Cardinals fans, and especially. And so that's why sometimes I have to take a step back and listen to what they have to say, even if it's the most negative, sometimes disheartening stuff, because it's how they feel. I can't change how they feel. It's how they feel. But I do sometimes have to offer some sort of insight because, as I've told them for many years, Bernie, I'm not too far from you folks, but I have some good access. And so I get to hear behind the scenes what's going on. And my information tells me that the Cardinals are on a path that they needed to put themselves on. And we'll just have to let it play out. It's just that simple. And it's hard sometimes to convey that and not get blowback. It's just the way it is.
Yeah, and I got mixed feelings on it. I mean, I do love Cardinals fans, and this is a great baseball town, and I'm steadfast in my belief of that. But you and I were chatting a little bit, and the one thing, listen, I'm with you because I listen to you take all those calls, and I agree with what you said. I mean, fans are entitled to their feelings. They're entitled to spend the money how they wish. It's their money. It's their time. And if they don't want to go to the ballpark, they don't have to go to the ballpark. They shouldn't. If they believe the Cardinals have to, in effect, reestablish or re-earn that trust, well, that's fine. That's fair. Again, no one should tell the fans how to feel. Now, this is there's another aspect to this that does bug me, and I think this is why some Cardinals fans frankly dislike me, because even though I want their opinions, I take their opinions to heart. I really want what people have to say. I don't have to agree with all of it, though. And, respectfully, I just don't have to agree with all of it. And so if I say, well, I hear where you're coming from, but that's just not correct. And people seem to take that personally. And I don't know why. I mean, we're either going to discuss some stuff and go back and forth and exchange ideas or not. We don't have to agree. And I, but like you had one of the callers earlier, and he said he said the DeWitts were, they're no better than the Bidwills. What? The Bidwills owned the football team here for 28 years. They made the playoffs 3 times. They never won a postseason game, and when they were in the postseason games, they got blown out, all 3 of them. The Cardinals under Bill DeWitt, what is it? They've been to the playoffs, 17 times in 30 years, maybe that. But anyway, in terms of winning records, since DeWitt became the owner, the Cardinals are 5th in regular season winning percentage, and they've won more postseason games than any team in the National League. Did the DeWitts and John Mozeliak screw this thing up by letting their model get outdated and maybe getting complacent and maybe, sort of anticipating they had to freshen things up, and they knew that there was slippage in the player development system, and they took way too long to address that. So I'm not sitting here. My goodness, I probably got to 100 columns over the last 3 years about how many things they screwed up, but you just hear all these things like somehow they're the Bidwills. What? I mean, come on. I was telling you, it's like the gentleman was entitled to his opinion. I don't have to agree with it, and I think that we and I'm guilty of this too. Sometimes we all get really frustrated, and we let the anger get the best of us, and then we say stuff that just goes like so ridiculously far that it lacks all credibility. There have been a lot of things to criticize about the Cardinals, and I have done it. But what I won't do, I refuse to do, is to act like the entire 30-year body of work hasn't been exceptional overall. And I would ask this question: there's 30 franchises in the major leagues. How many fan bases would trade their last 30 years for what the last 30 years have been in St. Louis? Not many. I'm guessing not many. You have Yankees, Dodgers, Red Sox, Giants won 3 World Series. I mean, it's certainly fewer than 10. I would say it'd be closer to 5 or 6.
I think
it's like why? Okay, we all are upset and ticked off and very critical for valid reasons about how they let this thing slide, right?
Mm-hmm. I think
I do not, however, like act like everything that happened before that never happened or it doesn't matter. To me, that is an unreasonable opinion.
When you're part of an historic franchise, but most importantly, when you're part of a passionate fan base, whether this is college sports, pro sports, there are a handful that have that extreme passion. When it's good, it's really, really, really good. I mean, it is just, there's nothing like it. But when it doesn't go well, it can be the opposite side, and it can really, really go sideways because the fans are very passionate. They're very smart. They've invested a lot. And so, the teeth will come out and they will get angry, and it does happen. It happens in other sports and with other teams too. I just hope, and I think he's up for it, that Chaim Bloom knows what he's getting into here. If he does get this thing back to where it used to be, he will go down in history. If he does one little thing that people don't like, they're going to say, see, I told you. And they'll go up against him too. I mean, this is not going to be an easy task by any stretch, but quite honestly, when I hear him talk, I feel like he's already hit the ground running. I don't think this isn't a guy who just stepped into it. I think he's actually been watching that also, understanding the market, the task at hand, and it sounds like the pieces are in place at the moment for what he wants to do.
The Cardinals are very fortunate to get Chaim Bloom at this stage of his career, because Chaim Bloom was a huge part of an amazing story in Tampa Bay, where, since 2008, the Rays have played in as many World Series as the Cardinals and the Yankees, despite having like the 28th, 29th payroll every year. And so Chaim Bloom understands the absolute necessity for draft and development. But when I say that he's coming to the Cardinals are fortunate to get him at this time because he has that really, really strong, beyond reproach, track record as someone who knows how to draft and develop players. This Red Sox team this year, Chaim Bloom guys all over the field, right? Even though he got fired towards the end of 2023, Chaim Bloom guys all over the field. In fact, 2 other prospects that he drafted were traded to the White Sox for Garrett Crochet. All over the field. This is 2025. Chaim Bloom's impact is still there in a positive way. But he was in a situation where it's pretty thankless. He had to inherit the entire front office. A lot of those guys resented him. He wasn't one of them. He didn't work for Dave Dombrowski. He didn't work for Ben Cherington before that. The owner kept changing his mind. The owner told him, I want you to draft and develop and build a farm system, and we got to get under the luxury tax threshold. He did all those things with flying colors, but the owner, couldn't stand the fact they're getting criticized for this or that. And, he got mad. He threw a tantrum. He ordered Chaim Bloom to trade Mookie Betts. He ordered him to do a lot of other things. The things he hired him to do, he did. But he could not, Chaim Bloom could not overcome the politics or an owner who's changing his mind every 15 minutes. So the reason I say the Cardinals are fortunate is because Chaim Bloom learned a lot from that really miserable experience in Boston. And the interesting thing about Chaim Bloom is usually the owner of a team will interview a job candidate. And of course, Bill DeWitt III interviewed him. But to me, he came here in effect 2 years in advance before he would get the job, because he wanted to see every aspect of the organization and how the people are, how dedicated they are, who's smart, how they're running things, what's messed up, what's good. You used the word audit, total audit. And Chaim Bloom, to me, Chaim Bloom was interviewing the Cardinals. It wasn't the other way around. You know what I'm saying? Because they need him desperately. And he and Bill DeWitt are 100% in alignment about what needs to be done at this time. And I know I'm going on long, but let me just say this. When I talk to Bill DeWitt about a lot of times through the years, he says, we got to draft and develop. The game's going in a different way. We have got to make sure we're strong there. And people say, oh, we'll be cheap. No, They've always had stars, and what his philosophy, which has worked when he puts it into play, strong draft and develop, especially starting pitching. And then when you get to the point where you have enough of that, but you're saving money because you have all these young players, cost controlled, then you can go out and then you can make sure you have your stars and spend money. And when I talked to Bill DeWitt last fall, I said, well, yeah, I know you love the Chaim Bloom background because of the draft and development. And he cut politely. He says, yeah, there's one difference, though. The Cardinals are all about having stars. And I always will want to have, so when we get this thing up and running again, when it's because we're going to have payroll efficiency with all the young players coming up, then we're going to go do what we have to do. And people say, "Oh yeah." Well, he's already done it many times over. I mean, take a look at all the people they acquired from outside the organization. Cooperstown Hall of Famers, Cardinals Hall of Famers, Arenado, Goldschmidt. I mean, just Chris Carpenter. I mean, on and on and on. They have always been about stars, and they will be about stars because the Tampa Bay model is not enough for DeWitt. He believes, no, the Cardinals need star players. We've always been about that. So it's a really good pairing. It's a really good fit. Chaim Bloom's not going to, I heard you earlier, Chaim Bloom's not going to get everything done in, 1 year, 2 years, but he's off to a really great start with the minor leagues. They've made great progress already. I would just ask, why don't you give him a chance? I mean, or did you want to continue doing this crap that we've watched the last 3-4 years? I didn't want to watch that. So
no, I'm ready for the new era. I really am, and it is underway. And Bernie Miklasz, as always, you did perfect. That was perfect way to wrap the show. Love talking to you, man, and let's catch up real soon. Thank you as always for the visit on Sports on a Sunday Morning.
My pleasure. Thanks a lot.
For our producer Drew Young, I'm Tom Ackerman. Enjoy your day. We'll talk to you soon.
This is Megan Lynch for Ophthalmology Associates. Do you worry about going to see someone about your eyesight because you're stressed about the tests that they might run, and more specifically,